Humanity had been a part of the wider galaxy for only 10 years, and during that time most alien civilizations believed humans were peaceful, harmless, and soft-hearted. They saw humans as friendly explorers who preferred calm talks over loud arguments. Some species respected them for it, but many powerful empires quietly looked down on them. They whispered that humans were too gentle, too patient, and too willing to solve problems with words instead of force. Commander Lisa Carter had heard these whispers many times, though aliens never said them to her face. She led the diplomatic starship Horizon Dawn, a ship created not for battle but for negotiations, rescue work, and research. Lisa was known across several star systems for her calm voice and steady decisions. Her crew believed deeply in her leadership, even when others dismissed humanity as a weak newcomer. With Lisa served a skilled officer named Aaron Blake. He had sharp instincts and a rare calmness under pressure. Many people thought that he would make a great captain someday, but Aaron always respected Lisa, and he trusted her judgment more than anyone else he had ever worked with. On one quiet morning, the Horizon Dawn arrived at a massive diplomatic station named LSR Prime. It floated between two rival coalitions, who had been close to war for many years. Both sides agreed to meet here only because humans had suggested it. Humanity had become known for calm diplomacy, which made other species feel safer. When Lisa and her team stepped into the bright halls of the station, they could sense the tension in the air. Alien guards stood stiff, their hands close to their weapons. Delegates from opposite factions refused to look at one another. Everywhere Lisa walked, she heard whispers about attacks, betrayals, and broken trust. Aaron studied the alien delegations with attention. He noticed how some avoided eye contact, how others walked in tight groups, as if afraid. He understood that the situation was delicately balanced, and one wrong word could push the two coalitions into a war that might spread across the sector. But humans were used to delicate situations. Lisa moved with gentle confidence, shaking hands, offering soft greetings, and encouraging calm discussion. Some aliens were surprised at how easily she made them relax. Others were puzzled that she carried no visible weapon. A few even laughed quietly behind her back, calling humans too hopeful for their own good. Still, Lisa remained patient. The first day of the summit went smoothly. Delegates exchanged small agreements, minor promises, and small steps toward peace. Though no one admitted it openly, it was clear to many that the meeting would have collapsed without Lisa's steady tone and Aaron's careful coordination. Late in the evening, when most delegates had returned to their rooms, Aaron remained in the main hall, reviewing scattered reports. He frowned as he read technical warnings about strange energy fluctuations near the outer shield of the station. The station crew said the readings were probably minor faults or sensor trouble, but something about the pattern made Aaron uneasy. He decided to report it to Lisa the next morning. He would never get the chance. The next day began with soft lights, low chatter, and the slow settling of delegates into their assigned seats. Lisa stood at the center of the hall, preparing her first words for the new session, when suddenly the lights flickered. At first, it seemed like a simple power drop. No one panicked. Then the floor trembled. A violent shaking spread through the entire station. Alarms blared and emergency locks slammed shut. A glowing crack opened across the energy dome outside the hall, and the air thickened with static pressure. A single voice shouted from the station speakers that an unknown energy rupture had torn open in Sector 9. Gravity fields were collapsing. Fire barriers were falling offline. Large sections of the station were becoming unstable. Delegates froze in shock. Alien guards forgot their training and ran for exits. The two rival delegations began screaming accusations at each other, convinced the other side had attacked them, but the humans did not freeze. Lisa stepped forward immediately, her voice calm and firm. She ordered all delegates to stay together and not separate into factions. She told Aaron to take a small team and assess the damage. Her sharp instructions cut through the panic like a clean blade, giving everyone something to hold on to. Aaron quickly gathered 2 engineers and a medic. They rushed into the shaking corridor as the lights flickered overhead. Flames burst from damaged vents. Sparks rained down, and the floor trembled again. The air smelled of burning wires and collapsing metal. The energy rupture was spreading faster than anyone expected. Aaron contacted Lisa through his wrist device, informing her that entire walkways were breaking apart. Lisa replied with quick directions on how to divert power and seal off failing sections. She spoke to him with quiet control, though she could hear the fear rising around her as alien leaders pushed and argued. The rupture tore deeper into the station. Some rooms collapsed entirely. A massive shockwave hit the hall, sending delegates flying. Lisa caught an alien diplomat by the arm, pulling him away from a falling ceiling beam. She pushed others behind emergency shields and helped several up from the ground. Humans had trained for disasters like this. They did not wait for orders. Each crew member moved fast, using tools, shields, and emergency kits to help the wounded and protect the helpless. What shocked the alien leaders most was that humans ran toward danger instead of fleeing. Even when corridors collapsed, humans were the ones rushing forward to rescue trapped individuals, no matter the species or faction. Aaron reached Sector 9, where the rupture was worst. Half the wall had melted into glowing debris. Gravity fields failed in bursts, causing objects to float and then fall suddenly. One alien guard was pinned under heavy pipes, crying for help. Aaron lifted the pipes with a portable jack, while another human engineer stabilized the floor. The guard stared in disbelief, whispering that he had believed humans were too fragile to do such a thing. Aaron ignored the comment and told him to breathe slowly as they pulled him free. Back in the main hall, Lisa organized groups to move the injured to safer areas. She guided even those who had mocked humans only hours earlier. She never raised her voice, but the steady rhythm of her instructions gave frightened leaders a sense of hope. Outside the hall, the energy rupture flashed again. A destructive wave tore through another habitat ring. More chaos spread. The station crew had never seen a failure this violent. Their frustration and fear were growing as more systems shut down. Several alien leaders confronted Lisa, accusing her of hiding human weapons or sabotaging the station. Others begged her to make the rupture stop, as if humans could simply flip a switch and repair it. Some shouted that humans should not have been trusted to lead the summit in the first place. Lisa remained steady and answered with calm words. She said that humans were doing all they could. She explained that the situation was unpredictable and dangerous, and blaming each other would only delay rescue efforts. Aaron finally returned to the hall with more rescued individuals. His uniform was torn and burned in places, but he still moved with purpose. He informed Lisa that the rupture was growing at an alarming rate, and if they did not stabilize the core soon, the entire station might break apart. Lisa nodded slowly. She knew the truth that no one else wanted to hear. The station would not survive much longer, but humans could still save the people inside it. She ordered the crew to set up a temporary evacuation route through the least damaged corridor. Aaron guided teams to weaken walls where people were trapped. Engineers rerouted power to keep gravity stable in key passages. Everywhere they went, humans worked with relentless focus. They carried wounded aliens on their backs. They used small tools to open sealed doors. They comforted children from distant species who clung to their arms. And all the while, many aliens whispered among themselves, struggling to understand why humans risked so much for strangers who barely respected them. Some thought humans were trying to earn favor. Some thought humans wanted praise. Some thought humans were desperate to be seen as heroes. But the truth was simpler. Humans helped because they believed every life mattered. Hours passed like minutes as the rupture consumed more of the station. Lisa finally led the last group through the evacuation corridor, supporting a limping diplomat while Aaron cleared falling debris ahead of them. The sound of tearing metal echoed behind them as sections of the station collapsed. By the time they reached the emergency dock, the survivors stared at the humans with disbelief. They had seen bravery before, but not like this. Not from a species they once called harmless. No human used a powerful weapon. No human revealed hidden technology. No human sought glory. They simply held back disaster with courage, teamwork, and an unshakable sense of duty. Humans had not shown their true power. They had only shown their heart. The aliens could not understand it yet, but the moment was coming soon. A moment when humanity would no longer hold back. And when that moment arrived, No species in the galaxy would ever forget it. The evacuation from LSR Prime had saved hundreds of lives, but the station itself was now a drifting shell. Fires burned inside broken rings, lights flickered across ruined corridors, and gravity fields continued to fail in sharp pulses. As the rescue ships pulled away, and survivors settled into temporary medical areas and resting quarters, everyone expected the danger to be over. But the danger had only begun. Lisa Carter sat in the command room of the small human support ship that had taken in a large number of injured aliens. Her uniform was scorched, and there were scratches on her arms. But her calm expression remained unchanged. She was going through reports sent by Aaron, who was checking on survivors and damage across the fleet. The survivors were still shaken. Some cried quietly. Others argued with each other. Many refused to believe the station failure was an accident. Rumors spread faster than truth. Some claimed humans caused the rupture. Others believed one of the two coalitions had finally acted on their threats. Lisa knew none of those theories were right. The rupture pattern did not match any natural failure. It was too precise, too sudden, too strong. It looked like something created by intelligent hands. Aaron entered the command room with a tired look. He had soot on his face from helping engineers clean their suits and equipment. He told Lisa that several alien leaders had demanded to speak with her in person. They wanted answers. They were angry and frightened. Lisa planned to meet them soon, but Aaron warned her that the mood was very unstable. Panic was turning into blame. Lisa stood and took a deep breath. She knew she had to remain calm. Humans were often the steady voice when others began to lose control. She told Aaron to prepare a small meeting space and asked him to join her. She trusted him completely in tense moments. They walked through narrow corridors filled with survivors from many worlds. Some recognized Lisa and reached out to thank her. Others watched her with suspicion, unsure whether humans were allies or threats. Aaron stayed close, ready to calm anyone who became aggressive. He had a steady voice that reassured people without effort. When they reached the meeting room, 6 alien leaders were already waiting. Their faces showed stress, anger, fear, and confusion. The moment Lisa entered, several started speaking loudly at once. They demanded explanations for the station's collapse. They insisted someone must be blamed. Lisa raised a hand and told them she had the first results from the investigation. She explained that the rupture did not look natural and did not match any station defect. It appeared to be created by an outside force. The room went silent. One alien leader, a tall figure with glowing markings across his skin, asked her softly who she believed was responsible. Before Lisa could answer, the ship's alarm rang. It was a deep, cold sound, different from the usual warning tones. Aaron reacted instantly, tapping his wrist device to pull up the alert. His eyes widened. Lisa looked at him, and he nodded slowly. They both understood. The station collapse had been only the beginning. Lisa ended the meeting with one sentence. They needed to return to the command room immediately. The alien leaders followed, their steps tense and anxious. When they arrived, the large screen showed something that made even the strongest among them fall silent. A fleet of ships had appeared outside the rescue zone. They had not come to help. They had come to attack. The ships belonged to a species known as the Krith. They were a dark, secretive race that most civilized worlds avoided. The Krith rarely appeared in open space. They preferred strikes from shadows, sabotage, and taking advantage of unstable situations. The timing made everything clear. The Krith had created the rupture. They wanted the two coalitions to blame each other. They wanted war. And they wanted to enter the region while everyone else was weak and disorganized. Lisa stood still, studying the fleet. It was larger than anything humans had faced directly. The ships were heavy, angular, and built for destruction. They carried weapons that could cut through most defenses. They had no interest in peace. Aaron stepped forward, asking calmly what instructions she wanted to give. Lisa told him to contact the human fleet stationed in nearby space. He sent the signal immediately. The Krith fleet sent a message to all ships in the area. A single, harsh voice filled the speakers. It told everyone to surrender. It threatened to destroy any ship that tried to escape. It claimed the Krith had already disabled several systems across the region, And that resistance was useless. The alien leaders panicked. Some begged Lisa to negotiate. Others shouted that humans must run away. A few accused humans again, saying it was strange that the unknown threat had arrived right after humans took charge of evacuation. Lisa ignored the noise. She watched the Krith ships closing in. She remained calm, but inside her mind a quiet line had been crossed. Humans had held back for 10 years. They had shown restraint. They had shown patience. They had shown kindness, even when mocked. But there came a moment when restraint only invited greater danger. Lisa asked for updates. Aaron reported that the human ships were arriving soon. 3 ships. Not warships. Not the strongest in the region. Exploration class. With advanced internal systems that were not publicly known. Aliens looked at the incoming human ships and scoffed. They said humans should not toy with the Kryth. They said those small ships stood no chance. Aaron heard their words, but he said nothing. Lisa knew the truth, they did not. Humanity had built those ships with hidden systems capable of more than exploration. During humanity's early years in space, they had nearly been wiped out by hostile species who saw them as easy prey. They learned to defend themselves quietly, secretly, without ever boasting. Humans had never used those systems in public. Until now. The 3 human ships arrived at the edge of the Kryth formation. They were simple in design, smooth and plain. Nothing like the heavy armored vessels of the Kryth. The Kryth commander laughed and sent another message demanding surrender. Lisa gave no reply. She contacted the fleet with a soft, steady voice. She ordered the activation of all defensive and tactical systems. She told them to hold positions and target only disabling points, not life support areas. Humans did not fight with cruelty. They fought with precision. Inside the human ships, hidden plates shifted. Energy fields grew. Weapons that did not match known alien technology came online. Resonance cores hummed, as if waking from a long sleep. Aliens inside the rescue vessel watched in disbelief as the quiet human ships began to glow with a soft pulse that spread across their hulls. They looked almost alive. Then the Kryth fired. Bright lines of energy shot toward the human ships. Lisa held her breath. Aaron stood ready to coordinate backup actions. A silent wave spread from the first human ship. The enemy beams bent around it. Redirected by an advanced shield humans had kept secret for years. The Kryth fired again. But the result was the same. Alien leaders stared wide-eyed. Lisa gave the next command. The human ships moved with impossible speed. They weaved through Kryth fire patterns, predicting every shot. Each human beam struck a Kryth ship at a precise structural point, disabling engines, cutting weapon control, or shutting down shields. Not one shot hit vital areas. Not one Kryth ship was destroyed. Humans showed strength without cruelty. Inside the Kryth fleet, panic spread. They had expected a simple victory. They did not understand how humans had such advanced systems. They fired wildly, trying to hit anything, but the human ships moved like light through fog. Lisa continued giving calm instructions, and the human ships kept disabling one enemy after another. The battle seemed almost peaceful, because of the precision. There were explosions, but none came from human cruelty. They only came from Kryth misfires or self-damage. In less than 30 minutes, the entire Kryth fleet was motionless, every ship disabled, not destroyed. Alien leaders stared at the screen, unable to speak. They had never seen humans fight. They had never imagined this. Lisa finally spoke, her voice soft but firm. She said humans never wanted war. They never wanted to show force. They only wished for peace and unity. But if someone threatened innocent lives, humans would not step aside. Aaron stood beside her, silent but strong. The room remained quiet as everyone slowly understood what had happened. Humans had protected them. Humans had saved them. And humans had done it with restraint, even in the face of danger. Whispers spread among the survivors. Some said humanity was far stronger than they ever believed. Others said humanity could have destroyed the Kryth but chose mercy instead. Many stared at Lisa with new respect, realizing she had held back a truth about humanity that the galaxy had never seen. Outside, the Kryth ships floated powerless. Inside, the survivors looked at humanity with awe. It was the first moment the galaxy understood that humans were not weak. They were simply choosing not to show their true power. But now that power had finally ignited, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The battlefield around Elisar Prime grew silent after the Krith fleet was disabled. Broken enemy ships floated without power, drifting slowly through the debris field. The survivors inside the rescue vessels stared through wide windows, trying to understand the strange and unbelievable scene before them. They had expected destruction, fire, explosions, and chaos. Instead, they witnessed a calm, controlled victory that seemed almost gentle. Lisa Carter stood in the command room of her ship, her eyes moving over each screen, checking the status of every enemy vessel. She wanted to be sure there were no hidden dangers left. Aaron Blake stood beside her, reviewing the life support signals from the Kryth ships. He confirmed that no one on board those ships had been harmed beyond minor injuries from their own malfunctions. The alien leaders who had doubted humanity only hours earlier remained silent. Their faces showed confusion, fear, disbelief, and something that looked like respect. They had learned more about humans today than they ever had before. When Aaron announced that all Kryth ships were fully disabled, Lisa let out a slow breath. The danger had passed, but the situation was still delicate. Many ships needed repairs. Survivors were injured, and the galaxy had just seen a side of humanity that had never been shown openly. Lisa asked Aaron for an update on the evacuation effort. He explained that rescue teams were still bringing people from damaged transport ships. Some aliens from the Kryth fleet had started sending distress signals, asking for help. This surprised many of the alien leaders, who believed humans would ignore enemy cries, but Lisa did not ignore them. She told Aaron to send medical teams and engineers to help the Kryth survivors too. Several alien leaders reacted with shock. A few argued against helping, claiming the Kryth did not deserve mercy. Others insisted it was dangerous. But Lisa explained that humans did not help only those who were friendly. Humans helped because it was right. Aaron supported her words with calm confidence. He began directing teams to the Kryth vessels, ordering safe boarding procedures, and preparing translators to avoid misunderstandings. The alien leaders watched with mixed emotions. They had never imagined humans had both great strength and deep compassion at the same time. Hours passed as humans worked tirelessly. Engineers fixed broken stabilizers. Medics tended to injured aliens from dozens of different species. Communication teams helped frightened Kryth soldiers understand that they were safe and that humans would not harm them. The Kryth did not understand this kindness at first. Their culture was built on power and conquest. They believed saving an enemy made no sense. But after seeing how humans treated their wounded with the same care given to others, even the Kryth began to soften. They stared at the humans with confusion, wondering how a species could fight with such strength and still show such mercy. As more survivors were brought into safe ships, the air began to change. Fear slowly faded. Whispers of hope and admiration spread. Some aliens even apologized for their earlier anger toward Lisa. Her gentle replies eased their embarrassment. Eventually, a large meeting was requested by the alien leaders. They wanted to speak with Lisa, not because they demanded answers this time, but because they wanted guidance. The meeting was held in a small hall on the rescue ship. The room was filled with representatives from both coalitions, neutral species, and even several Kryth delegates. They watched Lisa with new understanding. She seemed calm as always, but something in her presence felt different now. She was no longer just a human commander. She was the one who stood between them and disaster. The first speaker asked her how humanity had built such powerful technology without anyone knowing. Lisa explained that humanity had learned early in their space journey that they could not rely on others to protect them. In those early years, some species had tried to take advantage of humans. Others had ignored them. A few had threatened them, so humans had built advanced tools and systems to survive, but they kept them private because they wanted peace, not fear. A second speaker asked why humanity had never shown this technology before. Lisa replied that humans believed trust came from cooperation, not intimidation. If they had revealed their power too early, other species might have seen them as a danger. By staying gentle and patient, humans avoided unnecessary conflict. Another representative wondered why humans helped the Krith after such an attack. Lisa answered that mercy prevented future hatred. She explained that showing kindness in victory created peace better than any weapon ever could. The room fell quiet as her words settled in their minds. Aaron stood at her side, ready to offer more explanation, but the silence was full of understanding, not confusion. Then something unexpected happened. A Krith representative, supported by two of his own soldiers, stepped forward. His voice was rough, but each word was clear. He said his people had misjudged humans. They believed humans were weak because they were peaceful. They believed kindness meant vulnerability. But now they understood that humans chose peace even though they had the strength to destroy. He bowed his head slightly, a gesture rarely seen from the Krith. Many watched in disbelief. He said that his people would withdraw from the region. He said they would open talks. Most surprising of all, he said the Krith would respect humans from that moment forward. The alien leaders exchanged surprised looks. If the Krith were willing to negotiate, the long regional conflict might finally end. Lisa thanked the Krith representative. She spoke gently, saying that humanity would welcome peace, but would also protect innocent lives if danger rose again. Her tone remained calm, but the meaning behind her words was powerful. After the meeting ended, the hall buzzed with quiet conversation. Some aliens approached Lisa to speak privately. Others watched from afar, still processing the day's events. Many finally understood something very important. Humanity had never been weak. Humanity had been careful. While Lisa and Aaron returned to the command room, the human ships continued helping damaged vessels, guiding them into safer zones. The once chaotic rescue area now looked organized and controlled. Humans moved through the corridors with a soft authority that comforted those around them. Later, when things finally calmed down, Aaron asked Lisa if she thought the galaxy was ready for this truth. Lisa looked out the long window toward the silent shapes of the disabled Krith ships. She said no one was ever truly ready for great change, but sometimes the universe forced change when things had reached too much danger. Aaron nodded. He knew she was right. Humanity had not wanted to reveal their true capabilities. They had hoped peace could be built without it. But the Krith had pushed too far. After several hours, ships from many civilizations arrived to help tow the damaged vessels away. They came with small gifts, offers of support, and messages of thanks. A few even offered humans positions in new alliances, wanting their guidance to create safer systems and councils for the region. Lisa accepted their thanks with grace. She said humans would help, but they did not want to lead. They wanted cooperation, not control. Several leaders were surprised by her refusal of power. It made them trust her even more. As the final group of survivors was transferred to recovery stations, the whispers across the region grew louder. Stories of human bravery spread to every nearby world. People spoke of how humans ran into danger without hesitation, how they saved enemies with the same care they gave to friends, how they fought with unmatched precision and still showed mercy. Within days, the event became known across half the galaxy. Trade ships carried the story to distant borders. Diplomats repeated it during council meetings. Teachers began telling the tale to children. Everyone retold the moment when humanity stopped holding back. At the end of the long day, Lisa stood on the quiet deck of her ship, looking out at the stars. Aaron joined her. They spoke softly about the future. Aaron wondered if more species would now look to humans for answers. Lisa said they might, but humans had to remain who they were: calm, patient, and protective. She reminded Aaron that power alone never created peace. It was how that power was used. Aaron agreed. He had seen what happened when power was used without compassion. But today, humans had shown the galaxy another path. A stronger path. A kinder one. Before they left the deck, Lisa looked at the shining clusters of distant stars and whispered that humanity would always choose the right path, even if the galaxy did not understand it at first. But now, the galaxy understood. No species would ever forget the moment humanity revealed their true power. Not because it came with destruction, but because it came with mercy, courage, and the desire to protect all life. It was the day humanity changed the stars, and the stars would remember forever.